Peace and blessings, Oasis, and welcome to the book of Numbers. In this session, I will try my best to summarize the entire book in 7 minutes. Y'all better pray for me. Can I ask you an important question? What happens when redeemed people refuse to grow? We have many Christians who have been redeemed but refuse to grow, refuse to lead, refuse to sacrifice more, refuse to give more of themselves. Well, the book of Numbers is not about counting people. It's about counting the cost of disobedience. Israel is redeemed, instructed and positioned, yet still struggles to trust God in the wilderness. Numbers teaches us this sobering truth. You can be delivered from Egypt and still die in the wilderness. Watch this now. Salvation gets you out, but faith and obedience get you in. Boy, you better write that down. I said salvation gets you out, but faith and obedience get you in. Point number 1, the census. God organizes what he intends to use. You could read Numbers 1 through 4. God numbers the people because he is a God of order and purpose. Everyone has a place, an assignment, and a responsibility. This was not random counting. This was divine positioning. Amen? The lesson is clear. God doesn't bless chaos. God doesn't anoint confusion. And what he plans to move forward, he arranges first. High five yourself and say, before conquest comes alignment. Do it again. Before conquest comes alignment. Point number 2, the wilderness test. Write this down. Faith is proven in pressure. I said faith is proven in pressure. You can read Numbers 5 through 10. The wilderness was not punishment. It was preparation. God was revealing what was in the people's hearts. Complaints, rebellion, and insecurity rose to the surface because pressure always exposes posture. You better write that one down too. I said pressure always exposes posture. The wilderness teaches us God provides daily, but people still complain. Miracles don't replace maturity. Even with the miracles, there were still babies of the faith. Provision without trust still leads to frustration. You got the provision, but you ain't got the trust, and so you will still find yourself frustrated. They had manna, but they wanted meat. Their appetite was louder than their faith. My God, my God. Point number 3. Rebellion in leadership. What happens when order is challenged? Read Numbers 11 through 17. Miriam, Aaron, Korah, and others challenged God's appointed leadership. This was not a personality issue. This was a spiritual offense. God makes it clear. And you got to be very, very clear, saints of God. Be very careful. When you go against God's leadership, you don't just resist leadership, you resist order. Rebellion delays destiny. When you rebel against God's leadership, you are delaying destiny. Authority is established by God, not by popular vote. The budding of Aaron's rod proves that what God chooses will live even in dead environments. Point number 4, the spies. Fear can cancel a promise. Numbers 13 through 14. 12 spies saw the same land, but only 2 saw God. 10 focused on giants. 2 focused on promises. The tragedy is not that the giants were big, it's that Israel forgot how big God was. I have a very big God. You know, a few years ago, I preached a sermon titled, How Big is Your God? Focusing on the negative versus the positive can be very dangerous. Here's the danger. Unbelief spreads faster than faith. Majority opinion is not divine confirmation. Fear talks people out of their future. That generation didn't lose the promise. They lost the right to enter it. Plenty of you, because of your position, receives a no access warning when you attempt to access what has been promised to you. Point number 5. The long delay. Circles replace progress. Numbers 15 through 25. One moment of unbelief cost a generation their future. 40 years of wandering. Wow. God still provided, but provision without progress is not victory. You better write that down. God still provided, but provision without progress is not victory. What does this teach us? God can sustain you even when you disqualify yourself. Delay doesn't mean abandonment, but destiny requires obedience. Some people live blessed but never fulfilled. Whoa, now that's powerful. Some people live blessed but never fulfilled, never to your full potential. Point number 6, preparation for the next generation. God finishes his plan. Numbers 26 through 36. God counts the people again, not to shame the past, but to prepare the future. A new generation rises that is willing to trust God where their parents failed. Now, what this prove? This proves that God's promise outlived people's mistake. This proves that destiny doesn't die, it transfers. This proves that what one generation refuses, another generation can possess. Now let's conclude with the big revelation of Numbers. Numbers teaches us: 1. Order matters. 2. Faith is tested under pressure. 3. Unbelief delays promise. 4. Leadership is God appointed. And 5. Obedience determines entry. And above all, Numbers warns us the wilderness is supposed to shape you, not to stop you. I said the wilderness is supposed to shape you, not to stop you. Numbers is God saying, I brought you out to take you in, but I will not drag you there against your will. Promise requires participation. You can shout about Canaan all you want, but faith must silence fear. My brothers and sisters, if you don't understand something in this summary or in your reading of the book of Numbers, or you need a little more clarity, send me a text, WhatsApp, voice note, or email me at pastortaylorrole@gmail.com. That's pastortaylorrolle@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Peace and blessings.